Hello traders, Douglas here. Today we're going to be talking about Bookmap's new HIRO indicator. Now this indicator is pretty unique. It's trying to measure the hedging impact of real-time options. All right, so the indicator is showing you sort of the cumulative flow of options that are happening in real time. So if you're playing on the NQ, which is what we did on this day, these options are mostly going to be in the QQQ, if not all of them. If you're playing the ES, then you're going to be looking at options that are coming from the SPY, the SPX. And the indicator, if it's rising, then that means people are buying calls, you know. And then the market maker, at least the theory goes, the market maker is going to have to hedge their bets to balance their books. They're not in the game to play the market. They're in the game to take the spread of the options. So if they're selling off a bunch of calls to people and they need to balance their books, to do that, they're going to have to start buying stocks and futures, all right, at least in theory, okay, to hedge their books, to balance them out, and so they don't have a lot of market risk, all right? So if a bunch of options start moving along and then the market makers have to start buying stocks and futures, then they may move the market and you could go along for the ride. Now, options can get infinitely complicated. I don't understand all of them. And the good news is you really don't have to. So please forgive my dumbed down version of what exactly is going on here. But the bottom line is you're trying to follow the flow of hedging of institutions. Okay. So I'm sure you can understand the power of that. All right. So, and then to make things really dead simple, this yellow line here is the indicator and showing you the flow of options. So if the yellow line's going down, then in theory, the market makers might have to start selling stocks and futures. If the yellow line's going up, especially if it's a sharp move, if the yellow line's going up, then they will start, in theory, having to buy stocks and futures. Of course, nothing works the way we want it to. So just because the indicator moves up does not mean that the market's going to move up, especially right away, right? Unfortunately, there's nothing in trading that's going to work exactly the way we want, which is, of course, if this does this, all I have to do is this, and I make money, right? The market has to follow, and I make money. It's just not going to happen. So you still have to have your price action, your order flow, whatever it is that you do to choose entries and exits, and whatever you do to determine the flow of the market is what you need to do. So the HIRO indicator could be going up all day while stocks are going down all day. It doesn't make it useless, but I'm just telling you that to let you know that you can't just because it's going up, you can't buy. Just because it's going down, you can't sell. Okay? You still got to be smart. You still got to play the game because that's just life, unfortunately. All right. Otherwise, we'd all be millionaires and I wouldn't be making videos for you. Okay, so let's go over here to see what happened on this day. It worked out very nicely for me. If we're looking at the NQ right here, and we'll just look at the standard bar chart to start. I drew this little box just so you could see it, but we had resistance over in this area. Price returns to that area, and this is what you're looking at over here. Okay, and then I got in probably somewhere around here. You can see it right here on the chart, and basically I had been watching this area. I was looking for it to be a potential zone of resistance, and when it got up here, options started selling off. So I thought, well, it's already a resistance zone. Now we have a little bit of seller's liquidity up here that might provide more resistance, and now options are selling off. So maybe the market makers are going to have to start selling as well. And so I went short. And then once this huge bar of seller's liquidity came in here, I felt really good about it. A lot of times that's spoofing. It's temporary. Somebody just pounds right through it and then the market goes up. But because all the context was right, I felt real good about that once I saw that, and the market starts dropping. Now let's read my notes, because it wasn't a perfect play by any means, even though I made money on this play. So at previous zone of resistance, like we said, spot gamma options are falling. That's this. It's from spot gamma. Major sell liquidity was backing me up. Like I said, that's here. The major sell liquidity is backing me up. Initial target was L5. This is another spot gamma level. This is their levels of high areas of options interest. So a lot of times around these areas also is where the market makers might have to start hedging their bets. And you can learn more about this on Spot Gamma. I'm not going to try to describe it all to you, but they have plenty of videos on YouTube. So the initial target was combo 5, but you can see I got out way too early, and then it went right through combo 5, and then it went on and on and on. And so I bailed out at the 200 EMA. I was playing scared money. Cost myself for my initial target $800. If I was playing in a perfect, on one contract, that would have been one contract, I cost myself $800. If I was playing in a perfect world and I caught the bulk of the move, that could have been more like $2,000. Okay, so a lot of times it's best just to stick with the plan. All right, but as I've been testing this, I've only been testing it for about a week. I've liked it a lot so far. And like I said, as long as you go in with the proper expectations, you can't just say, oh, it moved up, I'm going to buy. If you do that, you're going to get burned. But if you use this in the broader context, you know, the market already had a great area of potential resistance. It already had a zone up here of seller's liquidity that I liked. All right. So I already was thinking about selling there, and then options start selling off, and that just made me feel good about things. And then another thing you can do, as long as options keep selling off, that's potential for the market to keep selling off. That's exactly what happened. Of course, I got out way too early. So I probably got out in like here-ish. And you can see, I mean, it just kept going. So let's just take a brief look at Bookmap so you can kind of see this in real time. Unfortunately, at this point in time, Bookmap does not record the HIRO action. So you're just going to have to ignore the fact that this is just dead right here and understand what I showed you in that photo. But we're getting to the area, like I said. So this was previous resistance over here. You can see this darker area that was seller's liquidity there. It kind of disappeared once the market went way down here, but they came right back in once the market started coming up. So you can see that's, you know, highlighted red because there's more people in that zone than these darker zones. These darker zones have not as much liquidity in it. So this is a high area of interest, okay? And this is the time when the spot gamma started selling off. And so we got in, and just as a reminder, see the spot gamma selling off, okay? That's when the big boys came in right there. Now I'm feeling really good about things. Unfortunately, then all of a sudden I get scared money or something. Scared money never wins. That's a poker term, I believe. But that's what I did. I jumped out and then just had to watch it take off without me and watch all that money that I did not make. But that's the brief introduction to HIRO. Hopefully I'll be making more videos on it, because if I am making more videos on it, that means it is working out well for me. Spoiler alert, today on the 8th, it was a massive, now I've got stuff popping up here. How do I get rid of that, boys? Okay, there was a massive spot gamma move, and it took like an hour or something like that of market consolidation, maybe more than an hour of market consolidation for the market to react. And so I'd love to show you that video. Hopefully I'll be making one of those soon so you can see what I'm talking about there. That's it. Thank you. Peace out.